After you ask your patient about their personal history of cancer and their family history of cancer, and you wrote it down on the family history questionnaire, then place barcode with patient's date of birth written on it on the swab. 2 patient identifiers are required on each specimen. Then place a barcode on the requisition form. Then open the swab package at the handle and carefully remove the swab. Do not allow the tip of the swab to touch anything other than the inside of the patient's mouth. Now it is time to swab your patient. While holding the handle end of the swab, insert the tip along the inside of the cheek. Rotate the collection tip along the inside of the cheek for 60 seconds. While rubbing up and down and rolling the swab in a circular motion, be sure the entire swab gets DNA on it. To ensure you receive enough DNA, place the back of your hand to the patient's cheek and apply pressure so your swab has something to hold the cheek firm to gather DNA between the cheek and gum. Then repeat this process to the patient's other cheek. When finished, allow the swab to air dry for 10 seconds if this is a dry swab or a swab without preservative solution in the tube. Then place swab into the dry transport tube. If you have a wet swab or a swab with preservative solution in the tube, then place swab in tube and shake vigorously for 10 seconds to make sure the entire tube has been coated with the preservative solution. Now, place into specimen bag with patient's requisition and other documents. Here is the checklist of documents to be sent with DNA swabs. 2 identifiers on the specimen tube, barcode and date of birth. Completed family history questionnaire. Completed requisition form, including doctor's signature, patient's signature, select CGX panels to be tested, ICD-10 codes placed on rec form, suggest at least 3, copy of patient's insurance card front and back. Note HMO plans are not accepted or because they don't pay for testing. Patient demographic sheet, critical test coverage request letter with doctor's signature. Note some United Healthcare plans will need prior authorization through their Beacon app, very easy, processed by doctor's office before sample is sent. Doctors are the gatekeepers to genetic testing. We have an obligation to help patients understand their genetic risk and how testing can guide decisions about their health. Doctors, you can help your patients to better understand their personal risk factors or whether genetic testing is appropriate, and if so, how to proceed depending on your patient's results.